Good afternoon, students. Today we're going to be talking about aseptic technique, and I'd like to demonstrate a couple of the different things that you'll be expected to do in lab. The first thing is, hopefully everybody has a scrub top and scrub pants. One important thing to note is with the scrub pants, it's really important to tuck the shirt into the pants, and also if there are strings to go ahead and to tuck them in as well. The reason for that is when you're scrubbing, it's very easy if your shirt is not tucked in to bump up against and contaminate your arms, or also the strings can touch some of the items that are in the OR that are sterile. You don't want to get too close to them, so the best technique is to go ahead and tie them and then tuck them in. Another little pearl of wisdom is to, if you have jewelry, first of all, you can't have any jewelry when you're scrubbing, no watches, no rings of any kind. That has to all be removed, and a lot of times people are looking for places to place their jewelry. A lot of people go ahead and tie it onto their waistband. It's very good because you have to untie it in order to get your pants off, so you'll retrieve your wedding band or what have you. You don't want to pin it onto your top. A lot of times people will forget and it'll end up in the laundry, and a lot of people have lost valuable jewelry that way, so that's important. Let's start with the foot covers. The foot covers look like this. It's important that when you, again, and a lot of times people wear tennis shoes in the OR, it's important that your laces are tucked in, or at least not long and drawn out. You'll notice that these foot covers have this sort of long piece and then sort of a shorter piece. This long piece goes in front, so you place these over your shoe, and you want to tuck your laces in. It's important to try to get most of your shoe covered so that when you go ahead, your scrub pants are covering up and there's no loose items or anything like that. Although this area doesn't need to be sterile, obviously isn't considered sterile, it's just a good technique, and it's also good to protect your shoes from drippage, which is frequent in the OR setting. Okay, so this is how your shoes should look. Next, I'm going to demonstrate a couple of different techniques for the hats. This one is sort of like a knight's hat. This is for the male students that have big beards. Okay, so you can wear this. I've actually seen some students who don't know what they're doing actually tie it like this, and they look real silly. But okay, so don't do that. They'll know it's your first time in the OR. Okay, so the idea behind this is for big bushy sideburns and for beards. You want to actually take this around the back. Try not to tie it too tight. You don't need to have it strangling you. But this is the idea behind this particular type of head cover. Okay, and then the mask is going to go over the top. I'm going to go ahead and take this off and put on the bouffant style cap, which is really meant for everybody, males and females. Everybody needs to be wearing hair protection, and all the hairs, all of them, need to be tucked and up. No little wisps. It's best to go ahead and cover your ears. If you have jewelry, you can wear little studded earrings, that's fine. Underneath, long dangling earrings are unacceptable in the OR setting. So this is how you should look. Next, and even if you're bald, you have to be wearing a head cover. Next, you're going to have a mask. Hopefully it's going to have some sort of eye protection. It's going to go on like so, and it should be tied at the crown of the head, so sort of at the top, and then around the back. They shouldn't crisscross each other. Just one simple little loop is fine, and it'll look something like this. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and start to scrub next. So let's take a little break and we'll set up and see you in a minute. Okay, so once you've passed inspection and you're ready to go to the scrub sink, here we are. You're going to see a number of these little packages available. They're usually all different ones that you'll see lined up. We'll talk about these in class, but basically one that I've chosen is non-betadine, so it's going to be less irritating and drying. You'll notice that you're going to want to have your hands dry when you open these packages. If your hands are already wet, you're going to slip and slide. And I'm going to assume that I've already just washed my hands normally. There's usually some sort of soap dispenser. Sometimes it's by foot control. You're just going to go ahead, and the first thing that you're going to do is turn the water on, get some soap, wash your hands, and dry them normally. We'll assume we've done that. Now we're ready for the actual scrub. So we're going to go ahead and open this packet up, and we're going to see right away that there's like a little fingernail cleaner right on top here, and then there's this sort of impregnated with soap brush. It's really important not to throw this. It's tempting to want to just throw it in the sink. Usually if you look around, somewhere there'll be a trash can. People really appreciate it when you go ahead and use the trash can. Next we're going to go underneath the water, and I'll explain it now so that you can hear better. I'll turn the water on, and with this little nail cleaner, I'm actually going to go underneath every single fingernail and around every single fingernail under the water. Meanwhile, I'm holding this brush. You don't want to be setting it down anywhere. I'm going to hold it up and out of the way, and I don't want all the soap to run out of it. So I'm going to actually go ahead and do that and then switch over for every single finger. Okay, so that's what we're going to do next. Turn my water on by using my knee or foot here. Okay, a lot of times people don't do that step. They just take these and throw them away. But technically, to do this correctly, you really need to go ahead and do that. Once you're finished with that, you can throw that away. And we're ready for the actual scrub. What I'm going to do first is just get both arms wet. It's important to always keep your arms up, kind of be leaning forward at the waist. And once your arms are wet, you want the water to be dripping off from the elbows. The other thing that you'll notice on these brushes, there's a hard bristly side and a soft side. We're going to do a counted scrub, and basically what that is, we're going to go up and back 20 times with the hard bristly side. So for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So up and back is 1, 20 times. We'll switch over and do this side. Then we're going to start 10 times on a surface using the soft side. So I like to use the hard bristles for the fingernails and the soft side for skin. So basically, if you think about it, every digit has 4 surfaces. So we're going to go up and back 1, okay, 10 times on every surface. So this surface, this surface, this surface, this surface. This one, this one, this one, this one. 10 up and back for each finger. And then the hand is considered a surface. Here, here, here. The lower forearm, the upper forearm, and then really 2 inches above the elbow. And then we're going to switch. So that's called a counted scrub. It's really important also, it's not so much the mechanical action, but the soap being in contact with the hand or with the skin. That's what you're trying to do. So a lot of times you want to make sure that you have enough soap on here, that you have enough water. At any time, if you need extra water, you can get it. And to me, it looks like the froth on a latte. So you go to Starbucks and you get a latte and you get some froth. You want to have froth. If you're not having froth and it's looking pretty wimpy and just watery, you can get some more soap. At any time, you can always step and get some more soap. At any time, you can always get more water. But I do what's called a one-up. I get soap everywhere, and then I come back and start my count. If I notice I need more soap, I'm starting to dry off, I do a one-up and go back to where I left off, or if I need water, what have you. So we're going to go ahead and do that next. Conserve water. It's okay to conserve water, and it's okay to make a little mess here. So I'm going to count 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You don't have to do it out loud. Okay, now I'm going to do what I call a one-up. If you ever lose your brush, if it drops, let it go, start all over. Okay, even if you were almost at the end, you need to open a new brush and start all over. Okay, so I just want to get some latte going here. All right, some froth. Once I've got that, now I'm going to start my count. I'm going to add a little water when I need. So you can see it's kind of time consuming. Some people do what's more like a counted scrub or a time scrub where they look at a clock. There's the latte look we're looking for. Okay. That's what we want everywhere, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of get that going. And back to my count. Isn't this fun? And 2 inches above the elbow. Be careful not to touch, okay? We need some elevator music. This is where the surgeon is pimping you and asking you questions about the case. So hopefully you've read up. You know what you're about to do. Or you can ask them questions so they'll know how much you know. Which is a lot. Okay, there's the latte look. Go ahead and get that going a little bit. Back over here. So to keep the froth, we need the froth. That's what the most important part is. Okay, so once we've done that, looks pretty good. We've got good froth everywhere. We've counted. Now we can toss our brush, okay? And we're ready for the rinse. The whole time the hands are up. It's important in the rinse to not go back and forth. We're going to go 3 times. You can go slow, wiggle your fingers. You do not want to touch anything by accident. If you bump something, you got to start all over. Everything starts over, okay? So we're going to go real slow, about 3 times, kind of like that. And we'll do this one 3 times. Okay, and also I encourage you to turn the water off when you're not using it because it's really, really wasteful. Let's see, other pearls of wisdom, keep your hands up. Just be aware of your surroundings. I think those were the high points. So we're going to go ahead, at this point I'm going to back in the door. It's really important that you don't, again, contaminate your arms, and you're going to enter this way. Okay, we'll see you in the OR. So here's our PA student who's just finished scrubbing. And so basically what you're going to do is you're going to put your right hand out, and they are going to offer you a towel. If at any time it drops, you let it go. And I'm going to demonstrate it along with you. So basically we're going to go ahead and lean forward at the waist so we don't want our towel to touch. And we're going to dry each and every finger. Okay? And you never want to go back and forth like this. And so you want to kind of dry pretty well, blot dry, as best you can. And you'll notice when you get to the end of the towel, and just be real careful to not let it touch your sleeve or anything, you'll notice that this half of the towel got dirty. So we're going to go underneath the towel and stay on the upper half to dry the other hand. Okay, that's it. Okay, did that? Keep going. And sometimes the towels aren't real long. The paper towels aren't quite as nice as the... and lean forward. There you go. Now, at this point, the circulator will take that out of your hand, or you can drop it off in the trash. So if you just drop that off in the trash over there, that's perfect. And keep your hands always up in the air, point toward the ceiling. And the next thing that the scrub tech will do, you just stand there, and hopefully you've already introduced yourself to the staff, and they're expecting you. They know your glove sizes and all of that kind of stuff. They will do a little shimmy dance and get it the way they like. And once they stay still, you're going to dive forward to the arms, and arms go back up. They will adjust your hands for you. You don't have to do anything. And next, they will put the gloves on you, starting with the right. And basically you dive in and you get what you get. Don't worry if your fingers don't line up perfectly. Good. Okay? Now you're going to make a little hook with 2 fingers, and you just stay still. They will place it on your fingers, and then with the left hand, dive in, Important thing is to make sure that cuff is covered. Now you can go ahead and touch and adjust. And then we'll stop the film for a brief second. Okay, at this point a circulator has come by and tied the back. So you basically wait for the circulator to do that. At this point, with your right hand you're going to grasp the card. The left hand you're going to grasp that little end, and you'll separate them. And you can hand the card off to myself or a circulator, and then you're going to pirouette to the left, and then you're going to re-grasp this blue and tie it into a nice bow. And the reason that that card can be handed to a sterile person or an unsterile person, either way, if at any time it falls though, you let it go. At this point, the position is to put your hands together up against your waist. Okay, never tucked up underneath your armpits. Okay, this is the standing position in the OR. At this point, if the patient is already draped, we're going to go ahead and assume the patient's draped. You can come up to the table, and you come up very close, and you put your hands on the patient. Okay, so we know you're ready for the operation. Let's say we're in the middle of an operation, and I'm asked to go down to the foot of the table. I never want to take this, what's considered clean, so you're clean essentially this chest area. We never want to do this and slide and potentially contaminate it with the back. So the best way is I would clasp my hands together and we would roll out like this, and I would come back to the table. Another method that I could do is back away, then side step and come forward, making sure I'm a good foot away from your back. So that's an important concept. Okay, have fun in lab. Bye. Okay, I forgot one thing. It's the end of the case and you're getting ready to remove all of this. One of the things that you want to do, don't take your gloves off first. A lot of times with these paper gowns, you can just pull them. Sometimes they pull easily. Sometimes this one's not going to cooperate, so I'll have to struggle a little bit. So I'm going to go over to my circulator, who's going to untie my back. Most of the time you can just rip them away like the Hulk, and it's real exciting. Other times if it doesn't rip away, or if they're paper or a rather cloth gown, you're not going to want to do that. So my circulator tied it so well that I can't get undone. Okay, so at this point, still can't get undone. All right, circulator, what'd you do to me? I'm trapped. Okay, so the idea here is this is contaminated blood and body fluids and so on. I want to keep that on the inside. So basically you want to try to pull everything off, keeping the dirty stuff in the middle so that this all ends up in the trash. And you're going to go ahead and keep your gloves on, and you can ball this up. There's usually a couple of different trash piles. There's one trash pile that's for cloth and paper and contaminated, and one is for one is for cloth that's going to go to the laundry, and the other one is going in the trash. So this one's we're going to assume there's our trash. As far as your gloves, you're going to grasp here and sort of invaginate kind of turn them inside out on each other, and you're going to slide your fingers in here so that all the dirty stuff is on the inside. And we're all done. Okay.